The monstrous turnabout. Trial. Day 1. Oh, yeah. Phoenix Wright isn't in this one, I don't think. But I want to play the rest of this game with Phoenix's classic outfit. So that's what I did. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. By scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shouting, "I'm fine!" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Chords of Steel voice workout, and a must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here, I'll go first, then you try. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! Alright, I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine! I think that actually worked. I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high, and I say it all the time. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse? The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. Look at him, the drip. What's with the racket, you two? Ah, Mr. Wright. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back, that's all. That's all? That's huge news. But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. But we can talk about that another time. Oh, fair. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, are the rumors true that you are going to defend an orca whale? But wow. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. Yeah, Hobo Nick. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? I guess, so it actually works with him in this classic suit since this is right before he gets his badge back. Yeah, he's serving time, but before that he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology. That's right, I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Oh, how he was back before his conviction. Blech. Using the power of suggestion, he can make even the most stalwart defendants confess. That can't be legal. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. That definitely can't be illegal. Ah, I knew he was gonna be bad news. It's probably just hyperbole. At least, I hope, for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes. Better tone down my cords of steel, too. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright, but I'm fine! I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client. Seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice.
Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma.
Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
I'd know that big booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But who's the young lady next to you?
I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner, and fresh out of law school.
Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet.
Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Sounds like a Hannibal Lecter situation. They got the guy from prison because he's an expert on criminal psychology, so they consult him.
Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time.
Maybe that's the voice I'll do for them. How do I do a Mads Mikkelsen voice?
Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate.
I don't know. Oh. Like Anthony Hopkins or Mads Mikkelsen? Which Hannibal Lecter should I do?
But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Jesus. Clarice. Nope, not doing that. Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it.
Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready?
Enough jabbering. No, that's okay. Enough jabbering. Get on with it already.
Of course, forgive me.
Why are all the people related to this case so scary?
Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you please.
Dang.
What's the matter?
Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It is alright there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. I'll just go with my archetypal... I'll just go with the typical, voice for, like,
pointless. Oh, well.
Looks like the cat, or in this case the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue.
But we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand.
Well then, your baldness, if it's so very important, why don't you do the honors?
Baldness? Who? Me?
There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. It's the law! And then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A self-assured fool.
Huh?
Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old dotards such as you are a plague upon the young. I don't think you can say that. I pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren?
All these years, I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace.
God damn it! What was that you said in game 2 about how this shouldn't be a kangaroo court? What? He actually fell for that? Yeah, this is just fucking the rules for shits and giggles. That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about.
The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cubey, alderman of Ninetails Vale. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenmatown, is accused of his murder.
And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested?
His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive.
So, in a nutshell,
I'd have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible.
Bravo, your baldness. 4 years of experience. Your years of experience shine bright like your head.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere.
He's playing Simon Says with the judge.
moving right along now. Let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright.
This guy's definitely the murderer, right?
The witness, please state your name and occupation.
I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I'm calling you Robert.
I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated.
Wait, who's protected who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackwell.
Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement.
That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. Spirit, justice. Say that again. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious. Yeah, he's a dumbass.
Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright.
You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. About the murder. Alderman Cuby was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Cuby was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Maya Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. Wait a minute, why isn't the murder weapon in the court records? But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back. A statue. Alderman Cuby had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right, the accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd been out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber.
And the victim managed to attack his attacker, despite being impaled by a spear. That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible?
Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear?
Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you?
Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. It still sounds a little far-fetched. What's upsetting is that there's gonna be the same voice for I gotta do for Miles Edgeworth.
Does it now?
Oh, this is the voice.
Then perhaps you should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade.
I didn't sign up for this. Oh, shit.
And so your life is spared. For now.
Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. Titanium's overrated. Fucking hell. Ha! My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof. My name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest.
The accused prints are on the weapon.
Fuck, how did I forget it?
The accused prints are on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence. Wouldn't you agree, Your Baldness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute.
He asked the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun.
What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Don't be a dick about other people's beliefs. Either way, he is raven mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman.
That mayor is a strange one, all right. I heard he went to a blood drive, but instead donated. He tried to make a withdrawal. Bro, what the fuck does that...
Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your boldness. Please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium.
I thought those were bandages from his injury.
I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenmataro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Yep.
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think.
Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they?
The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here.
Phew, thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news.
In any case, it seems that the victim did manage to defend himself, despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker?
None other than this statue right here.
It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact.
On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Tenmataro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Mayor's blood was found in it, but no prints could be left in. So then... wait.
Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Alderman Cuby was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. So, these weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber, I presume those are real? Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous? No matter what he collected, the alderman insisted it be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle. What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale. Ha 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 ha! The alderman had pure, unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right. We've lost a real champion of justice in his death. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Nothing but claptrap and balderdash, if you ask me. Now stop your bleeding and tell us about the weapon.
Your wish is my command. Ugh. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon.
Hold it!
It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prints could be easily be wiped off. You do have a point there.
I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prints because he could not.
What do you mean? Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Fuck you! Don't just stand there, show him his boss. Fuck you! I'm not doing your work for you. I'm totally lost, so why don't you just tell me the answer already? I don't think he saw that plea for help. You feeling alright, kid? Running a river fever, perhaps? I swear to God, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 5 times with the same goddamn trick where you trick me into making your argument for you, I'm gonna kill you. I wish trials came with a reset button. Seriously?
Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright.
At the time, Alderman Cuby was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Do you have this drug in your possession? Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was the sedative in his coffee? Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup.
And that is why he was out cold. That is, until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mayor.
I thought he was impaled by a spear. What an awful way to wake up.
A rather stimulating eye-opener, if you ask me. I too would have risen to the attack, for to die in battle is the samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen hero, but that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge.
Prosecutor Blackwell, please! Those morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court.
Says the jester in detective's guise.
Moving right along. Mayor Tenma attacked the shoppers.
Hold it!
So the alderman was drugged because he was really strong? Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I admit I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Ha ha ha! Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on.
Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you.
Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the color's all wrong too. Oh, I know. How about a squishy red tomato? I move to strike both of your comments from the record.
Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled.
Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. A sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck backward.
Hold it!
Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear? Absolutely. After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged and speared was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely. After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here.
Setting aside the half-wit's flights of fancy, the fact is this. The court-ordered post-mortem concluded the victim moved after his skewer.
So we found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. So... The sudden pain jolted the victim awake. Grabbed a statue. Mayor's blood could be found on it, but no prints were lifted, so... Oh. And look, he's not wearing gloves. So if he really did grab the statue, then there would have been fingerprints on it.
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory.
It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective's statue theory.
No fingerprints. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves.
Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed.
If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? Ah! This can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse! Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break we've been looking for.
There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion?
The least you could do is look at me while you're being dismissive.
Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Stono.
Were they unable to translate that? Justice Stono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks.
It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordship.
This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell.
There is a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's.
So, what are you getting at?
Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion.
Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used to wipe up blood? Likely. Maybe the cloth was used to wipe as much of the mayor's blood as possible off the statue, and in the process the culprit inadvertently erased the alderman's fingerprints as well. Why are you smiling about that?
Objection!
But the mayor did not bother to wipe away his own fingerprints on the murder weapon. Why would he wipe down one weapon, but not the other? Careful now. Use what little brains you have left before you speak.
Give me a do-over that one, please. Okay, by QB as a head covering? The alderman was probably wearing it over his head. What?
Do you truly think the alderman would show up to a meeting over the fate of his village, wearing this ridiculous-looking cloth over his head? Maybe?
Sure, they had a festival that day, didn't they? Who's to say he didn't party a little too hard and just forgot to take it off? Ah, God. Not a nice attorney trial without bullshit. Okay, fine, so maybe he didn't do that. Now let's see. To wrap the statue? Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. And Shorty wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor.
Gah! Precisely. Bully for you, boy.
Should I have been giving him... I can't do British accents. It was nothing.
Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution.
I did? Come on, how many times has the prosecution done this trick? I'm getting tired of it.
Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back.
Well, can't we just check the fucking cloth for fingerprints? Oops. Apollo, you dumb fuck.
Hold on. Now do you see how dull your mind is?
I'll make sure to sharpen it next time.
A particularly frightening inmate once told me that he always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore.
Was he like a chef?
Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time.
Called it. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? That's the name of my new band.
It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all.
I was kinda attached to that hole. It's pretty gay, Apollo. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it.
Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady.
There's only one answer. The real killer.
Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you?
Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right. Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai, were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue.
Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting. But isn't the true monster man himself?
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. No, trust me. No, trust me. It's fine. Oh, okay. So the prosecution can, like, claim that that my client fucking flew after killing someone, which is why there were no footprints. But I can't do. Maybe it was a fucking wizard who did it. A wizard did it. Fuck you, Robert. This is your fault somehow. Sorry, guess I got carried away.
Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense.
Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, well, a kid. Ouch. You meanie. I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright.
So is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it?
No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman.
Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that?
Why indeed?
Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is.
Ouch. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright.
Hoy, fool Bright, explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks.
What? You mean you can explain all that? Ha 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 ha! Our investigative prowess is without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession.
Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks.
This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears? Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds.
Those feathers only gave way to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenmataro, that is.
Tenma who?
Tenmataro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon, and thus were they blinded to the other, more plausible explanations.
Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor. And as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenmataro. Obviously, this person is a much more likely suspect than a legendary demon.
Objection!
Oh, that's what he sounds like. Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's minds games. Fuck. What?
Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings.
Just like communism. The villagers believed the murderer
to be the work of the real Tenmataro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenmataro suit is the killer.
Gah!
The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fool Bright.
Right. It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The Amazing Nine Tails was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of justice.
But do the people of Ninetailsville really believe a yokai is behind the crime?
Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds.
Just so. A particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey.
You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist?
No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey?
Yes, well... now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination.
This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to them. Hold it! Okay, I'm not. Fuck. Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely. They parade around in yokai costumes shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" And just the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers. Ah. They stormed the Capitol.
But when the accused showed his face,
the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, lowly yokai are no match for Tenma Taro, the Dark Lord of their kind. Oh, he's racist, just like the other guy, fucking Van Zeeks. Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Tenma Taro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy.
Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act?
The Amazing Nine Tails. No one knows his true identity, right? That's right. And he was a lone wolf, or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating one Tenma Town wrestler after another. And before anyone knew it, he was a champion. Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face for Tenma Town Pro Wrestling. He was amazing! If there ever was a real superhero, it would be him. I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday. I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He could even team up with Prosecutor Blackwell. A police detective and a prisoner in chains. You know, I think people would actually pay to see that. I know I would. Ha ha ha! So you do understand the greatest that is the Amazing Nine Tails. Stoke the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. Did the murder and yokai evidence really stoke the villagers' fears? Absolutely! It had an immediate effect. The presumed return of the dreaded Tenma Taro has them shaken in their boots.
Oh my, is it really that bad?
That superstitious lot, it's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus.
I see. That's a very persuasive argument.
The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now. So you see, there can be only one reason why anyone would plant those feathers and tracks. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Let's first see if there's anything that, like... Cause of death. Afternoon wrestling match was a total disaster. I can't examine. What happened to the ability to examine evidence? Oh. Resembling Tenma Taro. Let's just see if the game will spoon feed it to me. But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Cuby?
Excellent point.
It is, isn't it? So, Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Objection. Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment. You're saying it wasn't premeditated? Okay, that means, like, first degree? From the outset, I had no intention of paying a head to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery, so no head. A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Cuby's secret identity. Apollo! I think Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Ninetails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene.
Oh my, but why would it have been there?
The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Apparently so.
Well, could it really be?
Your baldness has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Cuby, was the amazing Ninetails, and the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. No!
Order! Order! What a shocking development! A motive clearer than crystal clear.
What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At last we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness? I don't think it's relevant.
I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona.
Objection! Relevance!
Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement.
Very astute of you, your baldness. Right, now take a look at this. If you value your dearest life, you'll emerge Tenma Ninetails with... If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetails Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Cuby's pocket.
What?
At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder and planted it into the Alderman's pocket? Oh, that is fucking slimy. Using blackmail to get someone to, like... Using blackmail to frame someone for murder, then making it look like the person you framed wrote the blackmail. That is... Oh, God. It's possible, but we don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle. Blackmail letter added to the court record. Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left after planting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by their sudden decision to kill the amazing Ninetails.
So it was the amazing Ninetails' counterattack that brought the entire crime to light.
Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence. And that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Oof. Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers in tracks. So there should be something here that contradicts that.
Hold it!
let's see where Polly is going with this. So let me get this straight. You believe the mayor planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after? Absolutely, and then he was knocked out cold by the alderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had a chance to plant the evidence after that. Something's not right here. Hard to believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt. We have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor. Then we're going to need to prove that Mayor Tenma didn't plant that yokai stuff. How are we supposed to do that? Well, first, I'm gonna get a snack. I'm kinda hungry. Wait. Yeah, I'm gonna get a snack, because I'm hungry. Wait, okay. The feathers are on top of the blood. But if he placed the feathers before killing them, there would have been blood on the feathers. Objection! Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo.
This is the crime scene photo. And just what does this prove?
It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted.
But I already told you they were planted before the murder.
The defendant planted the yokai evidence, then was knocked out while killing his victim. But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. Right here.
Take that!
Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice?
Yes. See how the feathers are on top of the blood and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder.
Then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman.
But you said it yourself. The mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene.
Arrgh! There must be some mistake.
Got him now. Got him now.
Order! Order!
Well, where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Ha 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 ha. Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you.
You do? But how?
Bro, was my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked? He's taken this really hard.
Mr. Justice, what is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have?
I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks. Will somebody please say something?
The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means.
You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy! Your boldness, it appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Apollo, think of something, quick, before you're held in contempt of court! What do you think I'm trying to do?
Before you decide whether I should step down, please, hear me out.
Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears, but you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about?
Wasn't literally a yokai. It's all in the statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around in a corner in the hall. It was around here that she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise.
What? How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense just proved there was someone else? So the mayor isn't a killer? Was it all set up? Was the prosecutor is a convicted felon after all? Apollo, the momentum shifted in our favor.
Good. Now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Objection! Man, fuck you. Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim? Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him. Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle. Oh, now you mention it. Both Phineas Filch and Florence LaBelle were in the foyer at the time. But they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Why didn't those two see the Tamataro impersonator? They were busy watching wrestling. They were watching TV. Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something. Yeah, last time I gave him Seth Rogen voice. I'm just gonna do with the typical New Yorker voice this time. Hey, I'm walking here. I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will. Did he just say captured? Oh, wait. I don't want to know. Very well, then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? The name's Filch, Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor. Hey, I'm walking here. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like. Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch. Ah, it's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? He stole his J's a second time! Don't tell me Fitch stole them again. They're all yours, your honorship, sir. What? But they seem awfully expensive. Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship. Hey, I'm walking here. It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts. Ethics schmethics. Just take them if you want them. Polished them up real nice for you, too. Your honor, those shoes belong... I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court... Also, what the fuck, bro? In the first game, the other witness gave you 3 different lunches, right? The witness fucking bribed you with lunch. And to be fair, that lunch did look delicious. Guard in the foyer. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office, keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree. That yokai you keep jabbering on about was but a phantom of the little girl's dreams. So you're telling me this court you never saw any... So you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Ten Mataro? Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, none or butter the truth. And Ten Mataro? Bah, you don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. Oh! He's lying! My bracelet. It's... Something the matter, Apollo? My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So you think Mr. Tanuki, Filch, has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Tanuki would be right, because he's got some major balls if he's lying on the stand. Now, if he could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit. Ah, what the fuck? What the goddamn? What's a hawk doing in here? Hawk Tua. Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact. He doesn't live with you. You know, in jail. Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird? And Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. And that queer power of yours, excuse me, seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. What the This isn't some sort of trick or... Hey! I won't be able to spot squat like this! I demand that this bird be held in contempt of court! What the heck's going on around here? We're up for the hills! No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Somebody help! Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, you'll ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. Fuck you! We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tamatara there, Filch should have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statement for now. Whatever, I think I know which evidence to use anyway. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. Let's see here. At the time of the murder, guard duty in the foyer, just like...
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, why did Alderman QB have you handle guard duty?
'Cause he trusts me. I am the man's caretaker after all.
So you took said guard duty seriously.
Now let me tell you something about me. I'm... Yipes.
Listen here, you little Tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer and not else.
Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir.
Blackwell's got him completely under his thumb.
Like I said, I was guarding the foyer entrance that day.
What, Let's see here. Aha! You were watching TV.
Objection!
Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch. If that is your real name, yes it is. It is.
Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that.
Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss.
Gah! I didn't watch that one, no siree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to.
This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled that match. It was you, right?
Yipes.
Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, it was a complete disaster. He's lying to our face, and he knows that we know he's lying because we talked to him before. So do you admit to slacking off?
You can't trick me with your Rudy Poo lawyer talk. I'm learning professional taps too. I can do double duty, watching TV and the foyer at the same time.
The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is professional thief. Nah, I don't think he gets paid for that.
Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off?
That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV and the foyer at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced lie.
Bald, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch was lying about watching TV and the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it.
Okay, shit. What the fuck? Okay. Crime, caretaker Mr. Filch. Yes, okay, so that's the caretaker's office, and that's the security camera. First, he would have to be watching... Impossible. Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, I'd think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time.
Oh, why yes. So I'm watching TV there, I couldn't possibly see the entrance.
Exactly. And that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claim.
The cat's out of the bag!
What?
But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar worth ethic relevant to this case?
It was very relevant, because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Tenmataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection.
What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? This. I'm not a mind reader.
Ah!
Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hot at work. Right, Tanuki?
They were?
Objection! He's leading the wetness! But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't?
My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on it. Great. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon.
So, you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by?
Yep, my ears were working full time, so who's the liar now, you no-good shyster?
A lying thief calling me a shyster? That has to be the low point of my fledgling career.
Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackwell, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing, and them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine.
Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu.
Please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir.
What?
The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly.
Now I just gotta prove that his ears weren't or broken over time.
It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there's all creaky squeaky. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see, there weren't no Tenmataro in the foyer.
Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Kill yourself. Understand? A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense, for lacking that, our entire world would be but upside down. Says the convict prosecutor is totally assigned the end times for the legal world.
And besides, if there aren't any yokai roaming around, I'd nab him and sell him into the zoo.
That's not ethical. I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. We can't prove she saw Mr. Tenmataro. The mayor's sure to... Oh, fuck! The mayor's sure to be fucked! Then we'd better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. Eyes might have been sunken off, ears working overtime. The floor's all creaky. No, I haven't missed someone walking by. So you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch?
As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus, that Tamataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like a jingle jangle.
A jingle jangle? Jingle jangle. How does he do that?
It's that staff of his. That's what jingle jangles.
What's he talking about, Apollo? Beats me, but I guess Tamataro's a staff that makes noise. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? She said she saw Tamataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound. I guess that's the source of the noise then.
Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tamataro jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information?
Yes. Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. Jingle jangle. Was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle. Except... Oh, his staff! But the staff wasn't... No, wait. We don't know if that was his staff, was it? That jingled. He was carrying a staff. Never mind. Fuck. I already pressed him on that. I'll just press it. Tell me about this staff. So Tamataro's staff makes a distinctive sound.
Yep, like a jingle and a jangle.
Wait, Jinxie said something like that. Something about Tenma's... Fuck. Hell, man. I think we're missing something here, but I can't quite put a finger on it. Perhaps I should take a look at the court record again. Yeah? A staff. What could this mean? Do you think Jinxie was just seeing things? Well, if that's the case, the details she provided were pretty impressive. But where to continue believing Jinxie's statement? Well, I have to uncover Filch's lie? Right. Or find out why you can't tell the truth. Oh, now I get it. Oh my god, My ears might have been slacking off by your ears. They were working overtime. So you would have heard... If your ears were, as you say, working overtime, you would have heard... Jinxie calling for help.
Objection!
What? God damn it, I thought I had something. I really thought I had something.
Objection!
It was the scroll? How does that make sense? Tamataro's staff would make a jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up. Like, I was just gonna, try to present every piece of evidence on the part about the jangle staff. And so I did scroll first and was like, what? That was the first one? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up.
Is there something the defense would like to share with the court?
Now, Mr. Filch, you say that you didn't see Tamataro on the day of the incident. Why then did you assume just now that Tamataro would be holding a staff?
Huh?
You see, the Tamataro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands. And she described its sound just like you did, as a kind of jangly sound.
Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your point?
Objection!
The point is that Tamataro doesn't use a staff. Not normally.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's another how did you know she was wearing a red handkerchief situation. You see, this is the only known document depicting Tamataro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch?
You're right. There's no staff. Not even a cane or a walking stick. So, the question is, why does the witness think Tamataro uses a staff?
I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level.
Well now, this is getting interesting. Alright, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tamataro carries a staff.
Because he actually saw Tamataro! It is a red handkerchief thing. Mr. Filch actually saw Tamataro right after the crime occurred. That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff.
Oh, busted again! Bloody hell, you duplicitous little...
Yes! How'd that feel, Black Quill? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You did see Tenmatara that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging you. Please don't make me say it. But clearly you did see Tenmataro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact.
I don't can do. No way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying he could be.
He? Mr. Filch still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did. The question now is why? Mr. Filch is scared to death. Is that why he can't admit the truth? Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul. Wait, you think Filch believes that too?
So Mr. Big Time City Slicker Lawyer hasn't heard about him? Oh, so
Fuck!
the old village superstitions? Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about?
The people of Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things, and their superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenmataro.
Darn straight, that's why! It's all right here!
Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others you'll see him. Don't ignore the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul.
See, that's why the folks at Ninetales Vale can't talk about seeing Tenmataro.
Village superstitions added to the court record. That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. They knew that way no one could talk about him, so it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer.
What?
Objection!
Objection! Superstitions, you say? What kind of a fool would actually believe such rubbish? And would that using some silly fairy tale could so easily expose the culprit? You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Objection!
Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark, sleepless nights. There is no lack of superstitions in the clink, but few are those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
I served my nickel, Apollo! You don't... Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetales Vale. A life or death superstition might even make you a believer. Ah! Sorry about that, I had a stroke. It's fine, it happens to all of us in this courtroom.
What do I say?
You fool of a Tanuki. 2 times now your lives have cost me.
Sorry. I promise not to do it again.
He's lying. Bro! He's fucking lying through his teeth. Exit stage left. He took off. He's definitely going to prison, isn't he?
Bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest men.
That's certainly not something you see every day. Bailiff. Love that guy.
Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. A third party, disguised as the Yokai Tenmataro, was at the scene. And now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? What?
His shackles!
Sorry about that.
I'm too young to die!
Justice, Dono. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best say your prayers.
Man, don't y'all have, like, guns?
Detective, do something!
Ha 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 ha! Have no fear, Fulbright is here! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going!
Objection!
Then get going already before he kills us! Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that set him free. Fuck you, Robert!
Objection! Objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice.
More like defective Fulbright.
Silence.
Ooh.
I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Oh, well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to,
I think the judge forgot he's in charge here.
So, Justice Jono's assertion is this. Tenma Taro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma.
A guy in a Tenma Taro costume is the real killer.
According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Objection! That's slander. Right, and that yokai, or rather whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Cupie.
Silence.
It was a guy impersonating a yokai, you fucking moron.
Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the Fox Chamber?
He was hiding. What?
He's right. She said nothing about Tenma Taro being in the Fox Chamber. Let me enlighten you. That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door.
And your point is?
Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewed murder victim, the Alderman, and the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor.
No, there must have been someone dressed up like
Then why does that little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the Fox Chamber? Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room.
I don't understand. Why did she see Tenma Taro inside the Fox Chamber?
There is but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh.
The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirsted for blood. At long last it shall be sated.
Wait, this is still a trial, right?
Show me what you're truly capable of, Justice Dono. Very well then, both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Gah! 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? And just so, plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom?
Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash our hands.
See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins.
I declare Prosecutor Blackwell the winner of this round, as Simon says. Oh, because his name is Simon. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show. Does it? To be continued? Nope! Fuck you! There's still more. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenmataro impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and the whole samurai act anyway?
Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel.
Oh, wait, let's save the duel until after we prove your innocence.
I suppose it could wait till later.
Does anyone remember conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo, don't be late.
Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at QB Manor. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is.
Yeah. Nurari Hoyan, leader of the 100 demons. He really does exist.
Wow, that is one well-polished tray.
The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. What is it, my child?
We got Nurari Hyun, leader of the 100 demons.
You think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as a judicial monster of sorts.
Once, so you're past your prime. When will you Please retire, Your Honor.
The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will.
My charm has no effect. The demon of due process? Not sure I can see that one.
Now, you little scamp.
Yes. Oh, sure, he doesn't look like a fucking demon. I trust you know why you're here.
Bags.
Bags. Oh, that Shrexy Tanuki. Try the noodle stand, and go enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodles while they're at it. Nya.
Is that an attempt at humor? Everyone's a comedian. Oh, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azukiari away. Azukiarai, the yokai that washes Azuki beans. The only thing needed washing will be your father's neck, before I take his head clean off.
Azukiarai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
Is that so? Oh, well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but God, those two are just plain creepy. I don't like this.
Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma.
This guy is, how old? 28? Sheesh. Why am I not in the record? This is ass. Anyway.
Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenmataro when you discovered the crime scene.
Witness testimony. Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Lots and lots of them.
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenmataro happen to be among them? Among us?
I don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Seto Taisho.
They were all there. Even the fucking toilet demon? Was that a yokai? I'm trying to remember any interest in yokai. Giant skeleton man. Big ass scary face that shows up at the sea. Jiangxi. Is that a yokai? I don't remember where Jiangxi. I think that's Chinese, actually.
Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony. Gah!
Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course.
What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes.
You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Oh! Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony.
Sorry about that.
She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land.
Bear witness! I'll show you. Never drink water too fast. Gurk. Of course, we already know how this works, so we just gotta look to see. That's a lot of sadness. Did I see Tenmataro in the fox chamber? When I opened the door, I saw. Now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. Found something. Looks like an out-of-control emotion. Athena, what exactly are we looking at here? Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa, you mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. Too much sadness. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions? Yes, that's right. Her fear has instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. Are you qualified to make that diagnosis? I don't think you can just say, yeah, this girl has schizophrenia. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm not a psychologist. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai. Well, I'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. According to what? What the? How do they even see that picture? What is going on? Start by pressing probe. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, hit probe again to try and get to the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give this a try. Probe. Cat monster on a wheel of fire. Wall monster. He looks like a negative man from Mother 3. Oh, they're all one wall monster. Cup monsters. Raccoon dog. Ah, yes, that's the wall. Those are cups. That was the Tanuki statue. This is the chandelier. It's just like Deltarune.
Got it!
It's just like Deltarune. Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai on a wheel of fire? That's Akasha. A yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly! It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. Isn't that most hallucinations? There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaken for Akasha. It's the chandelier. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on a wheel of fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha?
Take that!
The light fixture? This one right here. It has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a wheel of fire. The Akasha you saw was just a light fixture. All those other creatures, they were really there. Those were actual yokai. Oh god, I'm gonna have to do that for all of them, aren't I? Oh boy. That's one memory back to normal. Nice job! Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point at the rest. Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster? It looks yellow to me. That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. And this raccoon dog isn't a Tanuki monster. It's just the statue of one. And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue.
Eek. I don't know what I was thinking.
So now what did you see? The noise is gone. You did it, Apollo! Her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See, a clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. Now we can see what you... And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So, the defense is certain the exact opposite of their original assertion. Now, hold on, let's not get... Wait, Jinxie, what about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be shitting me! You've gotta be shitting my dick. Order! Order in the court! I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on it. It's the least I could do. Patui. God fucking dickhead! Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update. Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? I was so scared when I entered the rooms. That seems reasonable. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. Oh. There in the Fox Chamber I saw...
Shiver.
The alderman dead on a table, and Papa collapsed in a chair. Info update. Nobody else was there, And that includes Tenmataro. I don't see anything that... I don't see any, like, out of the ordinary emotions. What am I supposed to do? Try to find the emotions that contradict her statements. So if I find a contradictory emotion, I should point it out? That's right, but it's not just contradictory emotions you should look out for. You should also keep an eye out for sudden changes in an emotion's intensity. Her emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement. It's important to compare how the same emotion changes throughout the testimony. Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Let's see, Tamataro in the Fox Chamber. Shocked. So scared. Sadness goes up. They're almost the exact same intensity, like, you can hear them.
Got it.
It's gotta be this, right? This seems like an unnatural reaction. Really? Because I don't see it that way. So it isn't unexpected given her testimony. Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me. Yes, there is someone at home, and that someone is going to try that again. Getting insulted by the psychic girl. Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? Let's see. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's... This is when I need to point to that. It's very low intensity, so maybe... Oh, music stopped! We got somewhere. The amount of fear you felt is rather low despite your legs... Oh, that's not sadness, that's fear. So then, what was yellow? Was it shock? Surprise? That seems very similar to fear, though. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Oh, it was Mom. I suddenly felt if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter a sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look! Apollo, the noise is all gone. Shanksy seems to have remembered everything now. Bye-bye! A sudden burst of courage. And where could that have come from? Shanksy, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yes, there was, but, I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage? Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this? Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a nine-tails flower there at the scene, did you? The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a nine-tails flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it. You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene? Technically, it wasn't a crime scene yet, since she was the first one there, and, like, it's not like the cops are there, so, like...
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce said evidence this instant.
Sorry.
It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something stood out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look, your baldness? Ah, this is none other than the master key to QB Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder.
A master key? That went missing? Well, I don't like the sound of that. No, this is good for our case, because, like, this gives us a lot, it explains a locked room mystery.
Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence.
Except, wait a minute. I have no fucking idea. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think?
Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession.
Can you stop calling her scamp?
Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl.
And your point is...
Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable.
Oh, no! Oh! How could this happen?
The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright? I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do. This sucks!
Sykes, Dono. Allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept.
Great, now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks. Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, you're right. She fell right into his trap.
Now, I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
Alright, I'll be back in 10. Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. Apollo?
Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to?
Huh? Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. No, I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena.
The court is waiting, Mr. Justice, though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal still suspect if this is it. Fuck! Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case?
Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Apollo, you do have something more than your court of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. But, I've got absolutely nothing. That's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy the locked room is, too.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument?
You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locked room, one way or another.
Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Time to do or die, literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I am fine. We just need to think this whole escape in a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? Ugh. The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the Forbidden Chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out. Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. Oh. We need to rule out all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then, whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. Couldn't be the duct because it was too high, can't be the window, too small, can't be the Forbidden Chamber because it's locked, so it has to be the main entrance.
The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key?
I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but...
Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly.
I'm fine. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked was because... Shoot. I'm almost there. It locked on its own, locked from inside. Because it can't have been that, because then how would he wouldn't have been able to leave. So it had to have been he locked it from outside. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key... Oh! Fuck you!
Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox Chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that door is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking a key outside. But the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. If only we could explain both. Like, how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Air vent!
Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackquill draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked tight?
Threw it in from outside, slipped it in when the door was opened. Okay, that couldn't be because if you lock it from the outside, you wouldn't be able to then slip it in through the open door. So we threw it in, but wait, no, this is the same thing. Let's try this. Threw it in from outside. What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room.
And where would you throw it from? There is a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key from in there is an impossibility.
But there is another way. Oh, right. No! What about the air vent? Come on! You idiots do not have idiots not have object permanence. I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window? Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? Where could it have been? Can you find Mr. Fox? I meant Swiper, fuck. The air vent? Yes, the window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not. Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber has air duct. Leads out into the hallway. We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to take turkey off the menu. That's right, we're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to take turkey off the menu. That's right, the real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox chamber, then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber.
Ah! That's preposterous.
Ooh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused.
Don't worry. I'll explain it so even your honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenma Taro, murdered the alderman in the Fox chamber. Okay, I guess that'll... whatever. There's like some... There's something on my finger. It's kind of like a hangnail, except there's no like loose skin that's dangling. It's just hardened, calloused skin. Just ignore it. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenma Taro, murdered the alderman in the Fox chamber. Dead. Then, they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do after that was go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer?
Amazing! Even I could follow that.
The judge seems really pleased. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenma Taro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, it looks like that lawyer is being the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that was a total turnabout. Say that again. That massive forehead seems more attractive now. Order, I say. Now that I've proven a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty beyond reasonable doubt.
Silence.
A valiant effort, Justice Dono. But your final thrust missed its mark.
Huh? Don't do this, don't.
Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door?
Yes. That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the— fuck you!
But that is impossible, without being spotted by the foyer's security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Tenma Taro anywhere in the security footage.
What?
Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there?
I don't feel so good. Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right.
Silence.
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. That is the cliff side of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one.
No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? No? What the heck, right? No, wait, he did, and I have proof that he did.
Ha! I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset?
Yes! That's exactly what it is. That would mean the killer really was a yokai. I have evidence! If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Who's saying we don't? As complete far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Yes! Yeah, that's as far-fetched as a duck showing up carrying a leak. Oh, I thought I was the one with the cord of steel.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Your Honor.
What evidence do you have that the killer flew away?
Take that.
take a look at this special edition paper.
Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer, shortly after they fled out of the window?
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting...
Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer, disguised as Tenmataro, flew away, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is not but trick photography or some other form of artifice.
Oh, it was deep faked. Okay, then how about the Tenmataro figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air?
No, there is a rational common sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai our Trixie Tanuki witnessed never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye.
She? I don't like where this is going one bit.
Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at that time.
Oh, not good. Not good at all. Oh god, I do not like that voice. I'm never doing that voice again.
Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dodo? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenmataro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma.
Go fuck yourself.
Ugh. Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever. The little scamp was, no doubt, simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blasco's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out of the window. Did you truly believe this could end any other way?
Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one.
Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of Yorkwood.
Hold it. Who says it? Oh! Mayor Tenma!
This farce is over.
Fuck! Wrong guy.
This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenmataro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor, it would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess?
Wait! Apollo! Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no. Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone.
The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away. Caw, 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 caw.
Look upon me and despair, for ripe is the time for my return.
Huh? Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. What?
Caw, foolish mortals.
I am Tenmataro, the yokai you seek.
Mayor Tenma?
Silence! I am Tenmataro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King.
What the... Demon King?
Well then, I think it's time for me to, take a vacation.
Your Honor, I quit. I would like to resign from this fucking job.
The witness he will explain himself. Are you saying you are Tenmataro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time?
Indeed, it is I, Tenmataro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenmataro, you say? Ha! What nonsense!
So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now?
Ka! His body is now mine!
So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you?
The accursed power of these warden charms prevents me from revealing my true form.
Your baldness! Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Hold on, let him cook. Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned.
Huh?
What? You claimed the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked box chamber, but it was the accused all along.
Darg!
Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. For the alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma, and the yokai at the scene, that too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenmataro. The pieces have all fallen into place.
How so, Prosecutor Blackquill?
It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warden charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled on the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenmataro, freed at last from the charm's warden effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenmataro then fled from the Fox Chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenmataro.
Objection!
But when we arrived on the scene, the mayor was found unconscious! How's that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? And also, you previously stated that it would have been impossible for him to fly out the foyer window! Fuck you! Kill yourself!
Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of QB Banner, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenmataro?
That too is easily explained. Flew about for a time, did I? But presently tired, I made for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the Fox Chamber, and I knew no more. It would seem the pieces are still in place.
Was Blackwell up to his tricks again?
I don't know what to say. Is the defendant alive?
So that rumor about Mayor Tenma's true. I knew yokai were real. You mean he really did kill the alderman just so we could release Telmataro? We're in the fucking court! Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai.
The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty of baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma's just pretend to be Tenmatar to protect his daughter. No, Apollo, he's playing you. He's playing... That was his original assertion. That was Blackwell's original assertion. Why are you doing his work for him? Come on! Why is nobody wise to this trick? We've been seeing this trick for 3 games now. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature.
Since both sides have raised valid points, I've no choice but to...
Silence!
This is the dark age of law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono.
Objection!
I am going to shove that feather up your ass.
Silence!
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation.
How about I just promise not to succumb to anything?
We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but...
What's wrong with him?
Prosecutor Blackwell, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that. What in the devil was that? Fool Bright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner?
Ha ha ha! It seems you found that quite shocking! It is my special Jolt of Justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. Damn, where was Robert when Edgeworth was updating the autopsy report?
You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackwell, vow to...
Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective?
Well, in that case... This concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned.
Okay, so I guess Fulbright is just like this game's version of Gumshoe. But why can't we just have Gumshoe?